great skin, want great hair, want a six pack.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as healing Crohn's colitis. Sugars, seed oils, processed foods, right? Being able to get the nervous system right, being able to detox, liver support, lymphatic support, sweating out toxins, heavy metals, environmental toxins. I can go on and on. Everything that you need to do to take back your life is the exact same to actually be one of the strongest humans on the planet, period. And when that went off, I said, oh my God, I just tapped in. I'm going to pass everybody. Here's normal. Here's me. I was trying to get back to normal. Oh, just give me back my old life. I used to look at pictures like, I just want to be that guy again. I just get me back to who I used to be. Get me back. I built a tunnel, went under that son of a bitch, and went straight up and did 10x over anyone I would ever before. I'm happier, healthier, stronger, and more wise and a better person now than ever before I was sick. And I love who I am, and I would never trade it.
Because of the pain that you felt,
Yep.
which created this insane vacuum.
Wisdom only comes from pain.
The vacuum, I've heard this analogy before. I know you've heard it, but maybe somebody's hearing this for the first time. Mm-hmm. When you pull an arrow back and you continue to pull it so the string on the bow almost breaks and you finally let the arrow go, the further back you pull, the further it shoots.
Yep.
I have not found that to be disproven in any walk of life, whether it's health healing or entrepreneurship or being a great father or going through relationships.
Yeah.
Suffering of any kind actually is this beautiful fodder for growth. Mm-hmm. It's funny, like this morning, I always find the parallels in relationships, and I was doing an IG Live and I said, wow, can we actually just all collectively take a breath and see the election doesn't truly matter? Mm-hmm. The rules and regulations that you think are making you unwell don't really matter. Mm-hmm. It's actually the choices that you're making on a daily basis where you see this stuff as fodder for growth or you see it as just happening to you. Mm-hmm. It actually can be that simple. And I mean, just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy, right? I'm not disrespecting anyone's process.
No, hard is real.
To go through your process is very, very challenging.
Yes.
So along the way, I mean, when you said I was tired of fighting, I almost cried because I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
Everybody has been fighting a war of some kind.
Yeah.
Whether it's health or spirituality or with a parent, or there's so many ways in which we just continue to fight the war. Yeah. But at some point we just get to this place where it's like, all right, God, take the wheel.
Yeah.
Spirit, take the wheel. I can't do this alone anymore. And that's actually where true liberation comes from. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that that's the case for literally almost anyone or anything when it comes to healing the body, the mind, the soul? Do we have to get to that place where we're so beat up and we're so just exhausted, dude, with fighting the war, that that's actually where all the peace starts to come from?
I think that you have to realize that you can't do it yourself, and there's an energy to that. And you have to give up certain power, but at the same time, take control. It's the hardest thing I've tried to explain. I'm letting go, but taking full control at the same time. So I'm letting go of like fate in a way. I'm letting go of like, I can control this, but I'm taking full responsibility for every energetic currency I create and every step I put out there, because it's a vote. It's a vote to the divine of what I want and what I'm building. And so if you do that, you'll actually find inside you, that's when your belief changes. So I think that's 100% right. And it wasn't easy. This is not something where I have this drive-through of, oh, you can just heal. I went through this because I didn't know anyone else who had IBD. I had no mentors around this. The only mentors were the guys in my book. But there was a beauty in that because Tony Robbins was a big mentor for me. Unlimited Power and Unleash the Giant from Within. In 1988, I remember like in 8 months, I was getting back in the sauna detoxing, and I would just sit there in the book, and all these other guys would be looking at me like, "Look at this kid. He's in here," and I was a skinny little whatever. He's in here reading a book, sweating. He ain't playing. I was like, "Nah, I'm not playing, man. Highlight. I'm doing it." Like, there's no more talk.
Yeah.
And that made me wise. That turned me into a man. I went from a boy to a man. I know 18-year-old men, and I know 40-year-old boys.
Yeah.
And I really think it's that ability to, when you go through things, how do you respond to it? We got to get self-empowered. We got to stop delegating out our health or our feelings or what the reality is. You've got to realize what the power of money is, what the power of feelings is, what the power of partner is, and being dedicated to that person, and the power of health and personal development. You know, you can't really arrive. You can just find balance in. You just got to find balance in. The biggest trick I did, that I think one of the biggest that saved my life, is that when I was sick, I was miserable, okay? Most people are miserable. And so all of a sudden, I would try to get healthy on a strict diet. Let me do the 500 bananas. Let me do bone broth only. Let me only eat meat. And all those had their benefits, not knocking them at all. They all have great benefits to a certain degree. But I would be miserable trying to get healthy. And so for years, my mom would talk me into it, or some Google thing would talk me into it, or some book would talk me into these really strict lifestyles. This is how you're going to heal Crohn's. And I would be miserable binging Netflix, waiting for the week to pass for me to get over this horrific plan that I had to do because I got this disease. So I'm more of a victim. I have to do this because I'm a victim. I have to do this because of the disease. So now I'm getting angry and having a poor relationship with health. Like, to be healthy is to be miserable. That was me for about 4 years. And so then when I was happy, I was hurting myself. All my buddies, what do? Drink a beer, go out for a shot, go to McDonald's.
Yes, that's a great point.
Go play football and tackle each other. I'm bleeding. Don't tackle me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I can't do. So every time I was social and being happy, I was making myself more sick. And every time I tried to get my sickness right, I was miserable, isolated, and alone. So I was identifying a salad or just eating beef as isolated, no memories. And then I had this epiphany when I was meditating one time that every single memory that I loved before I was sick, when I was housebound, I had this thought. I started contemplating what were my happiest moments and why. I realized that all my happiest moments, I was either drinking alcohol, I was poisoning myself with toxic food, I was staying up late and hurting my body, prom night, birthdays, New Year's, that vacation with the boys.
Almost all holidays are about poisoning yourself with crap.
Everything is like, this is the time of my life, was absolutely poisoning myself.
Yeah.
And I just started laughing. I was meditating, I started laughing. I go, what are we doing to ourselves? I was like, has anyone else got this yet? I just have to have the best time of my life without poisoning myself. Game on, buddy. And so I started putting my hands up in the air, sober. I started hugging and saying, I love you, and I didn't have to be drunk. I started having a great time eating gluten-free. I started, I don't really drink alcohol every once in a while, but if I ever did, I started bringing Dry Farms wine, keto, no sulfites to that, and told a story about how this wine is so much healthier for you. Right? No more than 75 parts per million. And I would tell these stories, and people all of a sudden started getting excited to be around me. Before, they would give me their empathy. Oh, I'm so sorry you have to go through that, Dane. I'm so sorry you have to be sick. Your parents tell you, your friends say, I'm so sorry. Oh, it sucks. I'm so sorry. I don't want your empathy. You don't want their empathy. You want to inspire them. This is what you're going to do. Get happy and healthy at the same time, and come into the restaurant and be just there and be happy and be vibrating. And then everyone's going to go, oh, I'm tired of my bloating, and I'm tired of my skin, and I don't like this, and I don't have enough energy. And you're like, oh, I actually do this, and I feel great and all this. And then you order clean, and all of a sudden they're going to feel your energy, and they're going to go, what are you doing? Maybe I should be like you. Maybe I should do some more stuff you're doing. So now my job is, I actually believe with a conviction that the way I live is a better life. And I try to help inspire people to live more like me. People cannot influence me to be like them. I influence them to be like me because I'm happier and healthier. I don't care if I'm with the richest people in the world. Whoever is happier and whoever is healthier is the true influencer, period.
Yeah, whoever has a higher vibration and also who has more behavioral flexibility birthed to them by hard experiences, aka maturity, spiritual maturity, emotional maturity, they are the ones that attract or really kind of lead the energetic signature in the room. Have you found this to be true? It's like, it's not the person with the six pack. It's like, that's, I think, a cover emotion or a cover claim for somebody being healthy. There's lots of people, man, that have six packs that are not healthy at all. I'm sure you saw that in LA.
That was me.
Lots of people. That was you.
I was me. I was
had
in a
six-pack,
magazine.
but you were super unhealthy.
I was 6% body fat, 172 pounds, living on steroids, keeping me out of a hospital. Honestly, that's another topic, but I think it's almost the performance or health industry nowadays. I mean, it's all about just add more muscle, cut more fat. And at what point is this actually not healthy? And so, yeah, I felt like I was healthier with not looking as aesthetic as you would think in a picture.
But when someone's truly healthy, you can feel it and you don't need to describe it with words. Another way to say it would be, to talk about our buddy, Zach Bush. We have this enteric nervous system, the second brain. And it's got as many freaking connections as there are stars in the sky, which is insane to even think about. I mean, just the majestic beauty of
infinite.
The way we were created is so surreal. It's so profound. But we have this second brain. And when I meet you, we look at each other. And I look at your face and I judge my redox system inside of the enteric nervous system to make sure you're trustworthy. And you do it with me too.
Yes.
We all do it with each other.
Yes.
It's like we want to make sure that we're safe and that we're on the right vibe and that we're moving in the right direction where it's enjoyable and fun and free.
Mm-hmm.
How paradoxical is it that so many people try to lose weight or have a six pack to then be healthy? It's actually 180.
Mm-hmm.
You're healthy and you're happy, and then you get all the things that your ego wants. It's such a paradox, and it's so celebrated on Instagram. And you fell for that trap. Do you feel like that trap actually fed the disease?
Yeah.
Made you suffer more, that trap that I'm talking about?
I'm 100% certain it did, because I was in the gym 6 days a week, trying to get in shape, trying to get bigger, trying to get more ripped, and I was feeling worse. I would get worse symptoms of IBD when I pushed myself in the gym. So if I did wind sprints, because when you do like HIIT training, that puts such a stress on your adrenals and your nervous system. And if you're not already healthy, you are taxing your body by pushing that performance.
Same with crazy intermittent fasting.
I've worked with professional rugby players and CrossFit athletes who are like, I was just getting prepared for a game or whatever, and my body literally gave out as I was trying to peak. We have to understand, if you want to have peak performance, you have to be dialed in with how you recover and how you balance. And I would notice that. I mean, I worked out 6 days a week for 15 years. I loved it because it was a part of my ego, and it was what I was going to edge out and do. And then eventually it was just hurting me.
Yeah.
And I've never actually gotten as passionate about that, because I've done some work on what is my value and what is that ego. And when you become a student and just be curious and look at life, you realize people are attracted to energy.
That's right.
They're attracted to people's vibration.
Yeah.
If you look at someone and you say that person's a good-looking person, you also see signs of health under the eyes, the whites, the color of their eyes, breath, their tongue, whiteness in their tongue, skin reactions. We can see health. If you want to be a better-looking person, get healthy. You want to get a raise at your job and be more of value to others at work and work harder, you need to get healthy. There's not one asset. Like this is the most valuable thing on the planet that people are waking up to. Money can't even compare to self-empowered understanding of my total body health, mind, body, spirit, hormones, nervous system, detox system, GI tract, immune system, endocrine system, all of these. And we got to take the power back. We got to stop delegating. And that's all I did, Josh. I just became Sherlock Holmes. I started asking why. And I didn't say I need to be a master. I need to simplify what matters and get my takeaways and execute. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to be organized. I'm going to own all these processes. I'm going to find my simple takeaways, and I'm going to execute. I'm going to journal on the whole thing and data collect. And so I data collected for 187 days straight. I know how many bowel movements. I knew the symptoms. I know what I ate. I know what time I went to bed. I know how much I weighed morning and night. I know how much water I took. I know what supplements I took at the dosage. I knew if I had a celebration meal. Also, my language. I learned this from Tony. My man Tony, if he sees this. I stopped saying cheat. I don't say the word cheat, okay? I never cheat. I only celebrate. And I celebrate in a way that my body can handle when I choose, because I want my body to be in a state of celebration if I choose to put something in my body that's not great for me. But my body will accept it because I'm celebrating.
I love that you brought up Tony, because people can have their opinions about him, yet you don't have to love everything about the messenger. Just love the message, right? The message that he brings around neuro-linguistic programming, about how important the words are that we say to each other and that we say to ourselves. I mean, language for me has been, if I were to say there was one thing in my life that made the most difference above anything else, it's the language that I use with myself, with my team, with my family, and with people that I care about. It's actually it's all a language game, dude. I don't mean to just reductionize that and put light on anyone's hard journey that they're going through to heal themselves. But I will say, like, the language part of this quotient is just as important as the prayer, the meditation, because the way that we pray, the way that we meditate, the language that we use. I mean, you can feel what I'm saying right now, right?
Yeah.
The way that the reason Tony inspires so many people, and people that are been trained by Tony in many ways, is because when we hear the truth and the language feels right, we just vibrationally know it's real. We just know that it's real. And there's so much peace and lightness in the truth. It's like I've heard before, the truth is light and lies and deceit are heavy. And so much like deceit is snuck into the English language. Even the phrase, I'll try, I don't say that. I don't let my team say that. We're not allowed to say, I try or I should. Those words don't exist for me.
So smart.
Because when you should all over yourself or you try, you're giving your unconscious mind evidence that you actually don't want it. Whoa. So you love that episode? You'll love the one on the screen. Click it and enjoy.